that's what we're being shot with. And with all my research and experience, this is how close I've got it. And that's that, ladies and gentlemen. That is that. So this is a harassment campaign from the United States government being waged at. This is a hell of a lot of communication here. And you see how much communication is truly there. There's 2 layers at least that we're hearing, and it's happening more than every second. So this harassment campaign that I've lived through is a brain state attack, constant harassment, attack on my body, and so many people have lost their lives to this. Dr. Robert Duncan said that this project talks the target to their death. So I took a little bit of a chance to try to get this to stop from me and to try to get this to stop for you or whoever else. You know, there's millions of people going through this right now, this morning. By the time I finish my cup of coffee, people are going to be talked to hundreds of thousands of times with this harassment software, with this harassment program. That's not just software, it's spread throughout our entire communications infrastructure. It's a part of the military. It's a part of our internet service providers. It's a part of our cell providers. It's all of it. It's a part of our law enforcement. It's a part of everything. So when I'm seeking changes, it's like trying to change how a whole city is. Imagine that. Now you're trying to change how a whole city is. But this is just something most people don't know about. So if we had a problem that everybody knew about, then that would make it that much easier to change, right? But this program is hidden from people, and FBI agents are compensated and then have the ability to spy on people and then manipulate how their life turns out with this technology. So that's the smallest percentage of people that are going to have a problem with it, are the people that are getting money for it and that develop a God complex from using this tool illegally like this. Don't you think? How many criminals come forward to the police department and say, "Hey man, I just got paid a bunch of money to do a crime"? What's the statistics for that happening? I bet it's very rare. So then when that does happen, what does it take to expose it? How do you expose a government agency doing the wrong thing? Isn't that typically what the FBI is for? Well, yes, it is. That was a rhetorical question. The FBI is exactly the agency to stop this sort of thing. So when I've called them and reported it 3 times and they've done nothing to help, I've actually then immediately been pulsed in the heart with multiple times what I'm being hit with right now. right after calling the FBI, then it's not a coincidence. Okay, it's not a coincidence. So the one agency that stretches all over the United States like a monopoly, that is not using, does not have its power separated correctly, has total control over investigating these sorts of corruptions. And you see that they're not doing anything about it. Why? Because they're being compensated, or they're compensating their agents to do this. And then they're giving them access to then harass people and manipulate their lives. That's the least. That's the party that's least likely to give an honest account of what's been happening if they're being compensated to do crimes. That's like asking a person that you're interrogating, "Hey, I need you to be straight with me. You're not going to get in trouble if you tell me the truth." No, they definitely are going to get in trouble if they tell the truth, and that's part of why they're lying about this whole thing. So I can tell you scientifically, again, that today my room's being irradiated, my body's being irradiated, and when I put my hand on this antenna, it's going to jump. We're already at 253 millivolt. Right when I put my hand on it, it jumped to 700 millivolt. And you see this low frequency activity. That's super dangerous shit right there. 4 megahertz that they're pulsing into me. I'm too zoomed in, you can't see it. So I got my hand on this antenna, and you see it spiking. This activity on the left has jumped way up. And this activity has jumped way up. So without my hand on the antenna, we're sitting at like 200 something millivolt. And then with my hand on the antenna, we're at 700, 800 millivolt. Hand off the antenna, down to 255 millivolt, 213 millivolt. Hand on the antenna, we see this low frequency activity spiking up significantly higher. And what's the reading? Almost 900 millivolt. So that's a 3x. That's a 3x. Okay. And then at this range of frequencies, what's happening there, right? Because skepticism is logical. Be skeptical. Be skeptical. Because you've heard nothing about this, right? And you've got you've probably got little to no comprehension or understanding about how everything that you're seeing is manipulated to be what the same players want you to see. So it's hard to get that across and not have that change your perspective or your worldview if this is the first time you're hearing something like that. But our world is really maintained in a specific way. Just like a 5-star hotel. Do you walk in and see them scrubbing the toilet? No, they maintain it in a way so you walk in and see it in its nicest state. This is maintained in a way so you never see it, but it's behind the scenes. And it's there. And that's speech. Frey effect harassment. Heard and the human target without a receiver.